How are we going today, guys? My name is Rock, and thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I've actually been reached out by Olympus Gaming to do some feedback for his Bayonetta video. Firstly, thank you Olympus for considering me. Please do go check out his gaming channel. He does a lot of Nintendo and a lot more video gameplays than I do. And please do go check out his channel. It's going to be in the link in the description below. The video I'm about to watch and give feedback on is strictly Olympus Gaming's video. Please support the official release, guys. Alright, other than that, let's get right into the review.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game I have been excited to review for a very long time, Bayonetta. I hope everyone is doing well out there with the recent events going on. I'm actually stuck in the house from work for 2 weeks, so I figure why not while I have the time to give you guys some extra content. So without further ado, let's jump right into the review.
Thank you. Great quick intro, I love that. Some people have a 1 minute intro. I'm guilty of that, but thank you for keeping it brief and also shedding light to the COVID-19 outbreak, so props to you for that.
Okay, before we even start this review, there is no secret that I love Bayonetta, not only as a character, but as the series as a whole. I even commissioned an artist to create an emote based on the Bayonetta character for my Twitch channel. When Bayonetta was announced as DLC in the Smash 4 game, I immediately rushed to download her. Even though she was extremely broken at first, I still had fun kicking Mario's ass with the baddest Umbra bitch in the world. Bayonetta...
Thank you. Even though she was broken, people disregarded the whole Bayonetta character and the Smash 4 game. I'm glad you just kept on going with the game.
It's definitely one of the best characters ever. I love her confidence, her sense of humor, and just her style in general. So I am more than excited to review her debut title. Bayonetta was developed by Team Little Angels, a team within Platinum Games and published by Sega. Before this title, I wasn't really familiar with Platinum Games. Looking at the list of games they developed, the only games that they developed before this were Mad World for the Nintendo Wii and Infinite Space for the DS.
Never
I
heard
always
of these
remember being
games.
kind of curious about Mad World, so if any of you guys played it, let me know if it's worth a look. So Bayonetta is a fast-paced action game. Think God of War, or even closer to Devil May Cry. You spend the majority of the time hacking and slashing your way through this fictional town of Europe in Paradiso, which is heaven in this game. Before we get too deep into the gameplay, let's gloss over the story. So I'll say this right now. I am not a huge fan of Bayonetta story. I find myself just skipping many of the cutscenes and not really being that invested in this story. It's definitely the weakest aspect of the game for me, and I think most players would be better off just playing through the levels and bypassing the cutscenes. So Bayonetta is one of the only survivors of this race called Umbra with. I
can agree on that. If you do just want to play for the gameplay, go ahead. I personally enjoyed the storyline and the lore of it. I've studied the lore, took so many weeks to understand it and watch so many videos on it. So I kind of have to disagree with you on that. The lore is very complex, I could say. A lot of time travel involved, but to be invested into the game, definitely do not skip the cutscenes. You're going to be missing out a lot of bits and pieces, but yeah, keep going.
The only thing is, Bayonetta is not fully Umbra, because her father is a Lumen Sage, which represents light, angels so say, and the Umbras represent darkness. Bayonetta really has no memory of her past, so as you continue through the game, Bayonetta starts to piece small details together, but it doesn't really do a good job of explaining much. Along the way, you hear about this treasure called the Eye of the World, which is a balance between light and dark. So now Bayonetta is on the quest to find the red side, which represents darkness. Like I said, I'm not really invested in the story. It just isn't coherent, and honestly, I found it a little confusing. There is supplementary material in the forms of an anime film called...
I have to agree with you on that. It is very little. It's very subtle on how they explain the whole story. But if you do want to find out, or if you do want to discover what the story truly is and who Bayonetta is, the character, who Cereza is, spoiler alert, do your research. You have to do a lot of trivia research on the wikis, a lot of interviews with Hideki Kamiya.
Bloody Fate. I remember vaguely watching this when it came out, but I still didn't get much from it. Maybe it's time for a rewatch. Anyway, moving to the gameplay. This game is damn near flawless. The game offers really over-the-top action, top-notch controls, and fast-paced sequences. The game is very stylish, and there's never really a dull moment in terms of gameplay. Bayonetta has multiple means of attacking. The main is just her super fast punches and kicks. She also has guns to use as well, so if you prefer more of a longer range, that style's for you. Personally speaking, I am very aggressive in games like this, so Bayonetta's hand-to-hand combat works perfectly for me. Bayonetta also has different weapon combinations you unlock as you progress, so if hand-to-hand isn't your thing, you can use an alternative means of attacking. I personally really love using the katana. You unlock this pretty early in the game, but honestly,
I use the katana.
There's really no reason to switch from it. You can also alternate your weapons by pressing
Okay, I agree with you on that. The katana is like basically the only weapon you need in Bayonetta. Once you receive it, you can use it to beat the last boss.
So in terms of defense, of course you can evade, but Bayonetta has this amazing ability called Witch Time. Witch Time will be your best friend in this game. Witch Time allows Bayonetta to slow down time temporarily, and this will allow you to absolutely destroy your enemies. In order to trigger this effect, you have to dodge at the very last second of the enemy attacking you. Now I will say, some enemies and bosses are immune to Witch Time, so don't think you can over-rely on this technique. You can also use different items and techniques.
I'm really glad you pointed that out, because people go into this game thinking you just witch time the whole thing. I would say not to rely on witch time. Do not, if you are nothing without witch time, you don't deserve it.
Techniques that you can find in the shop. The shop is ran by this dude named Rodin. I love this guy. He is very mysterious. He's damn cool.
I love
The shop
that
has
guy
different
too.
items that can help you throughout your adventure. You can buy these items with the game's currency called Halos. Everything from healing items, new moves, and other things. I personally love the red shot, which is pretty much used to revive you if you die. Super helpful for those last few levels and bosses. When you're not fighting for your life, there are also motorcycle levels and quick time events. I love these motorcycle sections. They don't necessarily have the best control, but man was it fun blasting through the highway as Bayonetta while everything around you was falling apart.
Yeah.
The quick time sections, not really a fan of those.
Really?
They were the cause of some really cheap deaths on my playthrough.
Oh, okay,
One of the
okay.
things
I love the the quick time
about this game is the boss design. I love the boss design. The over-the-top to borderline weird design offered for some amazing visuals. The standout design for me was the final boss. I love the sheer size of the boss and the way the boss just looked. I like when you chipped away at the boss's armor. The boss had, like,
that
this
was
galaxy-like
pretty cool.
skin. It was beautiful. I will also say, I really love the boss fights with Jeanne. She is another Umbra Witch. I love her design, and she's just as strong and agile as Bayonetta, which makes for some awesome boss fights. I love the fight on top of the building. That is definitely a standout fight.
You forgot to point out the fact that when it's your very first time fighting John, especially the final battle with the third round with John, how come you didn't talk about how much rage you have in that fight? I had so much rage when I was playing that on the Switch for the very first time. I think if you could highlight the bad moments that come with the gameplay as well, because Bayonetta is not all fun and games. The fun comes in when you rage. And I know that's an oxymoron and a paradox, but it's like playing Mario. You want to get all 3 stars, and then you rage in moments where you could have been alive, but you did stupid mistakes. It's just the same as Bayonetta. So if you could highlight also the anger moments that can happen, it would be really cool if you could highlight the annoying moments of Bayonetta. I think that's another key aspect that makes the game so beautiful as well.
For me. Overall, Bayonetta is an amazing time. Despite the story not really being that great, I love the gameplay and the characters. I played this on the Nintendo Switch.
Alright, I have to disagree. I love the story, but again, story and gameplay is completely different. It's not a personal attack on you, Olympus. I definitely enjoyed the story. I'm very nerdy when it comes to lore and like Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff. But again, that's a personal preference. You know, a lot of people who play Bayonetta, I'm fine if you don't really follow the story. Gameplay, you nailed it right there, though.
I recommend you guys do the same, especially if you want to play the sequel, Bayonetta 2, which is exclusive to the Wii U and the Switch. The Switch version also gives you access to these really cool Nintendo-themed costumes for Bayonetta. I really love the Link and the Samus costumes. Something about seeing Bayonetta in Samus's armor with a katana was super badass to me. Also, what's a really cool touch, when you defeat an enemy in these costumes, instead of them dropping halos, they drop
I never really got to use them.
In each series.
Super cool. I wasn't really a fan of them.
I will also say, the soundtrack is fantastic. Go take a
on
listen
Spotify.
to this on YouTube, or show support by purchasing it on iTunes or streaming on Spotify. Alright guys, as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking some time out to view my video. Don't forget to leave your feedback down below, or join me on my Discord, or even join me live on Twitch.
I wish I could
what you think about my videos.
watch Twitch there, by the way, but I can't.
All that fun stuff, and just don't forget to give this video a like, thumbs up, and if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. Alright guys, I am out. More content on the way, and thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Okay, that's a wrap. So I don't really prefer to number or rate videos that I give feedback on via numbers. I think that's just it's too I would say, too static for me. Verbal feedback as well as written feedback is always a +1 for me. So you definitely nailed the gameplay. The only thing, again, that you talked about the gameplay that you missed was the annoying bits. There are annoying bits in Bayonetta. I think it would be cool if you highlighted them too. In terms of story, again, personal preference. Story is separate from gameplay. I mean, they do interact with each other, but you can be a fan of the story and you can be a fan of the gameplay. You can be a fan of both. I'm a fan of both. To say that the story is a little bit complex and it wasn't too easy to follow, that's completely okay. I understand why people don't really enjoy the story. If you switched it, then I would have had a little bit of debate, but you did. Overall, I think it was an amazing video. So please, again guys, please do follow Olympus Gaming. It was an honor to be a part of this feedback / criticism / review, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do leave a like, and again, please do go check out his channel and subscribe to his channel for more amazing gaming content. I'm Rakun, I'm restoring an eligible universe now, and bye.